Listen, we are back. Make sure you like this video as you are coming in. Make sure you like it. Thank you. What is up, y'all? It's your girl, brand new. And honey, I am back in the building this time. Listen, I am back to talk about the Nene Leakes interview that was done with Cheyenne Bryant. And also, I'm here to talk about the Melody and Martell of it all. Because like I said, you guys, they are the perfect example of a so-called man that is feminine, which is Martell. And some of these same men, they will get with a woman like Melody and feel like she's not feminine enough, right? Because she's not willing to just stay home with the kids. She out here ripping and running and working and, trying to provide and making sure her children have the best that life has to offer. So I want to read some comments because a lot of content creators had an issue with Cheyenne Bryant's message on Nene Leakes' show. And the biggest thing that I see is these single moms are triggered. She's blaming single moms. She didn't blame single moms. She was just telling you how something is. Because a lot of single moms feel like they are Superman. You are still not a man. You are still not a representation of what a man is. So yes, you probably are working hard on your job. Okay, you're providing. The children are probably eating good. But if you are raising sons, they are not going to be able to relate to you. They may go looking for that male guidance in the streets if you don't align them with a man that is positive, right? And that can be somewhat of a mentor to them. They have to see a man being the man that they strive to be. Okay, it's still, at the end of the day, there is another layer of the conversation, which is you choose the person that you want to be regardless of who you were raised by. But this is why a lot of men struggle, because they were raised with single moms and the father was not in the home. The father was not in the home to discipline them. The father was not in the home to reassure them, to show them how a man is to protect and to provide and to cover his family. Where will they learn that? And I know some of y'all will say, yeah, but some of them, and some of them did have, because I know my child's father had his father there, and still, went the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you could still have your father there. It doesn't even mean it's your father's fault. At the end of the day, it's up to you. You decide the type of man you want to be. Just like if you was brought up with your mother, I was brought up with my mother. I decide the type of woman I want to be, because there were certain things I saw in my mother I didn't want to be. But this is the problem with a lot of men. A lot of men, and I know I've been with them, they complain about, oh, my dad wasn't there. Oh, nobody cared about me. And the story pretty much stays there. They are these poor perpetual victims that was left, that was abandoned. When do we do the self-work? When do we do the personal development, the accountability, and the responsibility? When do we take that and grow ourselves into being the best versions of ourselves, and not indoctrinating our children with the same agenda that we were brought up with? Because I've heard from so many men, oh, my father wasn't there. He just never was there, didn't have my back. You have a son, you do the same shit. You are no different, motherfucker, than your father. You the same nigga. But I just didn't have it in. No, you have to decide to do better, to be better. You have to do it. Ain't nobody coming in to rescue you. And this is another reason why a lot of women don't see men as men, because too many men feel like, well, I'm a high value man if I make a certain amount of money. Money does not define you. It doesn't. You can have a certain amount of money in your bank account and be an abusive man, be a disrespectful man, be an impatient man, be a man that's unwilling to humble himself and apologize when he's wrong. Okay? You have to be a man of good character. And so many of them, they lack that because they're willing to go make the money. They're willing to go make $1, but they're not willing to work on the self-development. And you have certain women out here that's broken too. They willing to work on fixing their body, fixing their stomach, getting the titties done and the ass done, but the attitude is trash. Okay? Don't know how to speak to people. Don't know how to be grateful. Don't know how to be humble. Okay? Don't know how to be happy about just being alive and being healthy, having your health. I used to be with a man. This man didn't have cancer. He didn't have no terminal illness. What you waking up frowning for? Why don't you be glad? What did they say, honey? This is the Lord's day and you need to be glad in it. Would never be glad. Got a frown, got a scowl on the face. And I'm not saying you can't be sad, but like when are you grateful for what you do have? Not for what you're still striving to become and striving to accumulate, because that's what a lot of people want to do on the planet. They just want to accumulate material items. When do you become a better person? Because when you become a better person, you don't do some of the feminine shit that some of you all do. That gets you eliminated from being a man. Because a woman she'll spend your money. I told y'all, these women is not stupid no more. They'll spend your money, they'll sleep with you, but you still ain't a man that they respect. There is a man out there that woman will come into contact with, and she will leave you for that man. Because she's willing and able to be herself with this real man over here that's respectful, that's kind, that's loyal, that honors her. Okay, he doesn't triangulate. He knows how to be in a committed relationship. But I didn't cheat. Bringing up another bitch to another bitch, that's its own form of cheating. Trying to compare your woman to another woman, I told you, a lot of y'all do that. Stop doing that. It's abusive. You don't have to go across nobody's face to be abusive. You know what you're doing. So let me get into these comments, you guys. So one person says, I was raised by a heroin addict, but I don't process my emotions as a drug addict. This lady is nuts. And she's laughing because she didn't get the motherfucking point. A lot of people, they don't want to get the message. And they want to take it out on the messenger. Okay? And I really do feel like we hear only to our own level of understanding. If you a single mom raising sons, you got your Superman cape on, and you think that, yeah, all they need is me. I'm going to feed them. I'm going to tell them the right and the wrong things to do, and, you know, I'm going to tell them to do that. They still need therapy. Okay? They still need love. They need therapy, and you cannot be the only representation of what's right in their life. They need some type of masculine influence. They do. And if they don't get it, and they're not going to get it through you, that's why so many men turn to gangs. Okay? That's why a lot of men turn to drug dealing. They got it from they're getting the love and the acceptance from the drug dealers. That's where Pac said he got his stuff from, being a man, since his father wasn't around. Okay? Even though Afeni was a Black Panther, she can only do so much with Tupac. She can only do so much. So let's see what the rest of these women got to say. Because, yeah, they so offended about the single mom comment. Because the single mom, the problem with that and those women that's raising boys, those women are delusional. They are. They think that they are the only person that their child needs. No, they don't need to be around men that's negative, toxic, cheat on women. No, they don't. I'm not saying that that's what they need, but they need some type of, maybe they may have a basketball coach they can, remain in touch with. I've heard of some men that I knew that, would stay in touch with those type of men. Maybe a pastor, a older brother, somebody that's on the right track. Well, everybody fucked up. So a lot of them may, say that too. A lot of them act like nobody and nothing is good enough. Okay? That's what I see. Another person says, it's so easy to just blame good single moms. What's the problem with that, you guys? Cheyenne did not blame single moms. She was telling you that you are a single mom raising a son. That son doesn't have his father. She's explaining the facts. You motherfuckers are getting into your feelings. There are facts and there are feelings. Get out of your motherfucking feelings. And this is why we can't have a real conversation, because a lot of people don't want to be real about how certain shit is set up. I am a single mom. My daughter looks to me. I am her source. Okay? If I had a son, I would try to connect him. Maybe I have an old basketball coach. Well, hell, I ain't play basketball. But hell, I had some positive males that I was in set with. I would have my sons in touch with them. Okay? In touch with men that are doing something. I know a man that creates websites. That used to work for set. I know a man that was a good actor in set. I would connect my sons with the positive men that I knew. These men are not perfect, but these men can talk to them in a way and reach them in a way that I just can't. Because as a woman, your son is only going to listen to you for so long. That's why a lot of them listen to their peers. Their peers have a louder voice than you. And they feel like their mother does not understand them. Okay? Tupac even admitted when a woman raises you, you do become more feminine. And yes, you have feminine traits inside of you. We all have masculine and feminine traits, but you gonna have a little bit more because you're used to being around your mom and your sisters, and you're gonna end up doing what they do. That is just how it's set up. But these women online are getting triggered because they feel like I'm a single mom and I'm Superman. You ain't Superman. You can't teach a man how to be a man. And the minute you humble yourself and admit to that, then you will be better off. And there are a lot of single moms that just feel like, yeah, I just do everything by myself. What did I tell y'all? I'm a single mom, and I have did most of this shit by myself, but I shouted out who? Miss Sarah. I gave her props because she helped me along the way. There were other people, daycares, that helped along the way, that helped with homework when I couldn't be there, when I had to work. There were certain teachers telling me, put her in this program, okay, that were pushing her, okay, that were nurturing her. It takes a village to raise a child, But we have a lot of toxic single moms that feel like, yeah, I could just do it by myself. I could just do it. And you wonder why you all wore out and tired and don't nobody want to hear what the fuck you got to say, because it's all from one voice. People need to hear from other people. I allow my daughter to hear from other people because I don't have all the answers and I will never pretend to have them. I just know how to live by my values. Okay? That's all I know how to do. That's all I'm here to do. But I'm willing to, embrace other people. If they know a better way than I do, then, hey, we welcome it. If it aligns with where we are going. I also tell my daughter, too, make sure anybody's advice that you get, it serves you and it's in alignment with where you are going. But I don't have all the answers. That's why I put my daughter in therapy. Because I saw certain stuff in her I can't help with. I could talk to you till you blue in the face, but a clinical therapist can get to the heart of the issue quicker than I can. But you work in mental health. I don't have I don't have the answers. I don't have the degree to do some of the shit that they do. All I can do is what I can do, but what I can do is not enough. And a person, you guys, that is humble, that can admit that, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm here to get some assistance. Getting assistance from other people is not weakness. But you have a lot of single moms, toxic single moms that feel like, yeah, I don't need nobody and I got this shit. And in some respects, you got to have it, right? I understand that. But be willing to bend a little bit. Be willing to hear what this person has to say. All these women online, they got triggered by single mom. What's she trying to say? I can't raise my sons by myself? No, you can't, bitch, because your sons are always going to crave male influence. And there's also nothing wrong. This is another conversation. I'll save it for another video. There's nothing wrong with women wanting to be loved by men or craving male attention. Hell no, don't be a pick-me. Don't do everything to be picked. I'm not for that. But that's the natural way of life. It ain't nothing wrong with flirting with a man and wanting to feel sexy and feeling good the way you did in high school. And it ain't nothing wrong if you want to get married. I told my daughter, I'm not, into the whole marriage thing. I'm more into having a long-term commitment with somebody, having a companionship. She said she wanted to get married. I'm not here to stop her or force my beliefs on her. I don't love in that way. I know how to let you be free and you decide what is best for you. That's what I'm here to do. So here go this person. It's so easy to judge and blame good single moms. What's the problem with that? Instead of understanding how boys are socialized. So you can't help your son to be socialized in a better way? Okay? You're so focused on patriarchy. You're so focused on some shit that you ain't gonna never be able to change. You're never gonna get rid of patriarchy. You're never gonna get around it. Never gonna get it, 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 whoa, 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 never gonna get, hey, you're never gonna get around patriarchy, so stop fucking talking about it. I don't have that in my commentary all the time. I don't try to get rid of what we can't get rid of. It's always gonna be there. Okay? You can't go through life without patriarchy. You can get around it. There are certain steps you can take to point your sons in a different direction. Yeah, but they are going to be just brought up to be cheaters and to be liars. No, everybody has two wolves. And only the strongest one will win out. At the end of the day, you can do your big one, put the child in therapy, get him aligned with some positive men in the community. Maybe a Big Brother program where they take the people out and the guys out and spend time with them and take them to basketball games, take them out to eat, talk to them about issues and how to treat women. And you gotta try. But all this, but patriarchy, but there's social excuses, stagnation. This is just how it is, and I'm just gonna succumb to it. Instead of understanding how boys are socialized to be horrible by boys and men, yes, some of them are. That's gonna be out there. You're not getting rid of that. We're not getting rid of toxic coworkers. We're not going to get rid of toxic neighbors. You're not going to ever get rid of the devil. The devil is always there. You have to learn to adjust, to adapt, to have different strategies. She also takes accountability away from men totally. These are the women that just want to, and we saw with the Cassie and Diddy situation. They just wanted, and don't get me wrong, Diddy is horrible and his ass should be under the jail. But I always knew he was going to somewhat get off on that freak off stuff because Cassie was at way too many freak offs. Way too many. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she wanted to do it all the time and she was abused. I got women in my comments, but I was cheated on. And women, some women want men to take accountability for shit they're not willing to take accountability for. For instance, there was a time in my life where I chose certain people. I was fucked up. That was a fucked up version of myself. So I did align myself with the wrong people. And yeah, I was snaked. People wore a mask. That type of shit, it happens. Yeah, but you can't say I chose wrong. I don't think anybody wants to choose a bad mate, but we have to admit where we are at in our lives when we do choose certain people. I can tell y'all where I was at in my life based on certain exes I got with. I can tell you that. I have that level of honesty, transparency, accountability, vulnerability, humility. When you have all of that, you can admit some shit. Yeah, it doesn't take away from the fact that the man was wrong. If he cheated on you, you didn't deserve that. Nobody's saying what the person did was right. But you gotta admit, it was there the whole time. The red flags were red flagging, and you chose to ignore. You chose to stay in the relationship for way too long when you should have left the first fucking time he hit you or cheated. You stuck around. You fucked around and found out, right? We got to be accountable for how long we stay. It doesn't mean that the person was right for dogging you out. That's not my message. People are wrong when they do that shit. When they try to break you down and put you in lowest terms. That's not right. That's abuse. But guess what? That's that person's karma. They're going to get it. Nobody is immune to the trials and tribulations of life. Martin Lawrence. Shout out to him. Nobody is immune. They're not going to get away with it. So what about the emotionally incompetent men who have both parents in the home? Why they end up toxic and fucked up? Because they want to be. Because they want to be. Well, you blaming the parents. No. Like I said, there's going to come a point in time where it doesn't matter who raised you. You have to choose to be a better woman or a better man. You have to put effort into your life. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's going to rescue you and make you a good person. But I told y'all, we have a lot of toxic men and women in the community that they want to make $1. Okay, they want to get the BBL. Okay, They want to get the nice car, the nice house, and they don't want to work on their character. Character still shitty, still disrespectful, okay? Still narcissistic. Interesting. She generalized all single mothers as being the same. No, she didn't. She just used you all as an example of, these men. They have moms and they watch their mother process and they probably had a fucked up mother too. You can have a fucked up mother and end up being a fucked up man, because the mother is not growing, is not learning. She's not humbling herself. She's not going to get therapy. She doesn't know the error of her ways. She's not aware of how she's damaging her children. So by her logic, because she's a female psychologist trying to analyze men, she must be inherently incorrect. Another person says, because there's no such thing as absolutes. You thought you said something here, but if you just waited and actual thought a little longer, you'd understand that what you just asked is like saying, so what about people who aren't born with all four limbs? Huh? The hell you talking about? The hell you talking about? But yeah, the content creators are dragging this lady, saying that she is a psychologist that is providing harmful, inaccurate, and misogynistic, which there's that word. There are certain words I want you to pay attention to. Patriarchy, misogynistic, okay? You're not getting away. You're not going to get through life without having to deal with some of that. The men around the child play no role. Fathers, preachers, uncles, cousins. It takes a village. Stop generalizing and blaming single mothers. She didn't blame single mothers. I know I've been in a couple of relationships with men, and they wanted to argue too much, you guys, and they did come from single moms, and they didn't have the father in the home, or they did not learn how to process their emotions, how to resolve conflict. They given silent treatment. You got to come up to them to move forward and work things out. You always have to humble yourself so y'all can move forward. I literally had one man in my past say, yeah, you apologizing. Bitch, I'm not you was wrong. What the fuck I need to apologize? I'm just trying to move forward, girl. Okay? Yeah, I can move forward if you apologize. You know what that man was telling me? That male, that feminine man? I have so much shame in my heart. Because that's what that is, when a person can't apologize and move on. When a person can't be accountable. They want to do all this sneaky, underhanded, malicious shit behind closed doors. Okay? They want to wear a mask, acting as if they are the good guy when they are the evil guy. It's crazy. Another person. So what about women who grew up with their fathers and don't mimic any of those traits or things from said father? What the F is she talking about? Also, if a man was raised by just his mother, then he should have a better idea on how to navigate his emotions and not fly off the handles like most men do. If you have unstable parents, they just rub off on you, period, unless you want to change that dynamic. That's all you can do. And even with me, when I was coming up, I was in a positive teen group where we performed and we were given certain messaging. But guess what? I still came up short, because all of us have issues. We have flaws. We have things about us that need to be reparented, that need to be reprogrammed. that need to be reset, that don't need to be recycled, right? You're always going to have issues. Even a person that had both their parents, but you don't know what type of dynamic the parents had. Did one bow down and acquiesce more to the other? Was it a partnership amongst equals? Okay. Was it about them coming together to have spiritual growth? Because a lot of people, like I said, they just want to accumulate material items. They're not here on the planet to have any type of spiritual growth. Let that sink in. A lot of people, they're not here to grow. They're here to act like they know every damn thing. Okay? But yeah, I just found it, I found it really, like, weird. I'm not shocked, though, because of my commentary I did on Cassie. I got a lot of pushback. You're blaming her. You're victim blaming. You're blaming her. You're saying she asked for that. She was at several freak-offs. She was. Yeah, but she was so young. They are very manipulative with it because they keep switching her age around. She was 18, 19. She wasn't even fully developed. Listen, Linda. These people like Cassie, Capricorn, Clark, all these people that Diddy did so much evil shit to, Dawn, Richard, her too. Y'all saw how terrible he was. And nobody wanted to stand on business and just leave. Because y'all all wanted that money. Y'all wanted to keep that money. And you was willing to tolerate abuse and disrespect. And I'm not at all saying you deserve that. I will never say that. Because that is not my message. Nobody deserves to be disrespected. Nobody. Cassie, Capricorn. But a motherfucker, I'm going to tell you right now, they got one time to try to kidnap me. They got one time to try to have me fuck all these niggas, and then I keep doing it for X amount of time. See, because the more you put up with that, the no longer you are a victim. You are a willing participant. Now, if a man ends up cheating on you and doing shit to you that you didn't even know about, you didn't see, we can say you was a victim, but when you are like knowingly and consciously doing these goddamn threesomes, okay, you know that your boss could like harm you. You know that your boss has a real nasty temper. He done kidnap people. And like, why would you want to work for that? That's what I'm saying with this whole thing about the police, right? Like, we call the police for what? Because there is an emergency. There is a sense of urgency that we want solved and we want resolved. See, when some of us, when we wait to report things that's so-called bothering us, it looks manipulative. It looks like we are using certain information, okay, to bring up at a later date, which means you didn't really have an issue. You was collecting information from a person. Okay, I know because I've been through this. And I told the people, oh, when I have an issue, I call the police. There's a period at the end of that. I won't be waiting a whole fucking year to tell a person I have an issue with them. Because at that point, I don't really have a fucking issue. I'm being a motherfucking monitoring spirit and collecting information on people to weaponize at a later date, which is being manipulative, which is not really having a real issue. And if you have a real issue with somebody, you talk to them. You don't go running to other motherfuckers to talk about that person. Okay? So behavior reflects intentions. The way somebody do something, it let me know the real intentions. But yeah, as usual, you know, you have women that, you know, they want to be these poor perpetual victims and oh, this person did me so wrong. Okay, they did you wrong, sis, but what part did you play? Because you can only change you. So what could you do differently the next time around? Maybe not sleep with Tyrone that first date. Maybe not get pregnant by the first motherfucker that tell you you look good in a dress. Maybe not have these kids back to back to back. How about settling down, getting with a partner that love and respect you for you? How about doing that? Okay? Oh, you trying to say? I went through the same thing with the whole thing with Melody. I would get so much pushback because I was like, why did she have another baby with him? Well, she was trying to work out her marriage and she was... Listen, Linda. You knew at baby number 3 he wasn't shit. What are we doing? And I get loving somebody, being married, and I think that Melody was a lot like a lot of us women where we feel like, you know, this is a part of marriage, having ups and downs, and the person that you're married to just isn't perfect, and you want to work with them, and you want to try to make your family work. I really do understand that. But we knew at baby number 2 and 3, he wasn't about shit. Okay? But this is what a lot of men do. They manipulate you into thinking that their toxicity is normal. Them triangulating, it's normal. It's just a way of life. Get used to it. And I told you a long time ago, if you stay, you might as well play. You should have introduced another nigga, Melody. Okay? Introduce another and you see how Martell act. How did Martell act when Melody started going out on dates? Like a motherfucking fool. Should have had that nigga up in that house. Okay? But yeah, narcissists, they love one-sided marriages and relationships where they get to cheat and have their cake and eat it too, and you begging them and trying to get them to feel a certain way about you, and okay? We don't do none of that. So another person, I'm perplexed by how many people pretend that men being raised by single moms is not the norm. I'm assuming that these two women are talking about the men in the racial category to which they belong. And in that racial category, most people under 55 were raised by a single mom. It has been this way since the early 70s. I know it's presumptuous of me to say they're referring to their racial group. With that being said, the anomaly is when black men are actually raised in two-parent homes. So, in effect, Dr. Bryant is gaslighting because she's pretending that two-parent homes are the norm. These motherfuckers are choosing to miss the message. She didn't say shit about single moms. She didn't put y'all out here like that. She was just showing you how the household was set up. So if she was to come over here to me, she's going to say, Brandy, you are a single mom to Chantel. That would be a fact. Me saying, oh my God, she's attacking me being a single mom, that would be my punk ass getting in my feelings. Because I have yet to accept what's really going on. Which is, I am the mother of a daughter and I need certain resources. That way she can have better chances in life. That way the chances are greater that she will be a success in life. So if you have sons, like I said, you need to up your resources. It's not just about money. It's about community. Who's in proximity to you? Do they have a basketball coach? Is the basketball coach married? Do you go to church? Is there somebody at the church that's positive? Everybody can't be fucking horrible. There has to be somebody. But a lot of these people, you guys, they want to be stagnant. They don't want to do all of their work. They want to do some of it. That way they could take all the credit, right? and have the S on their chest. They the Superman, the Supermom. No. A real woman says, I can't do this by myself. Yeah, my sons have seen me work, pay bills, take them out to dinner, but I can't teach them how to be a man. They need to be in contact with somebody that is a positive representation of that. And they don't need a lot. They just need somebody. And then you build from that. That's how you do it. You have to work around it. You gotta work with it. Not, yeah, it's just patriarchy. Yeah, they just socialize that way. What does that sound like? I just threw in the goddamn towel and look, it's like that and that's the way it is. No. Real woman thinks about, you know what, I can't do this by myself. Like me, for instance, I knew I didn't have a lot of money, but I said I want my daughter going to some good schools, and I've been able to do that by being in a certain area. I said I want my daughter around grocery stores. That's where we are around. I want my daughter around hotels and jobs and opportunities. I don't want to bring her up in a certain environment. See, I was thinking. But if I would have just had that motherfucking S on my chest acting like I know everything and I'm too good to hear anything differently than what's a representation of me, okay? Because that attitude, it keeps you stagnant and it keeps you stuck. But you got to open your mind. And these people, they don't want to open their mind. They want to, yeah, it's patriarchy. Yeah, it's just, they just socialize. And yeah, it's just like that. And yeah, that ain't what she's saying. This is an episode of people are choosing to hear what they want to hear. To further speak and act the way that they've been acting. They needed to correlate with what they have already been doing, which hasn't really been working because they're still in the same fucking place year after year with their mindset. Okay? They still have a defeated attitude. A defeated attitude is not the attitude of a winner. Okay? Another motherfucker, I want to see her actual credentials. She ain't got to show you shit. It ain't her fault that you stuck and stagnant, that you think you know every fucking thing, that you lack humility. Okay? And then these same people that don't want to hear what she's saying, they are in support highly of gay people and of transgender people. Not because of their character, just because of who they are and how they are set up. Okay? They have those people on a pedestal. The more she talk, I am starting to believe she is one of those honorary degree recipients who believe they are qualified to provide expert advice. Tell me, what does processing your emotions as a man mean? That means if we are having an argument, you walk away. And you are the first motherfucker to walk away. You don't continue to fucking argue with me. You don't give the silent treatment. You communicate, you resolve issues. Because when you do that silent treatment shit, guess what you teaching your woman? You teaching her how to live without you. And then you same motherfuckers are surprised when you get cheated on or when your woman is eyeing another man. Because at the end of the fucking day, she's going to find what she needs. And you aren't it, girl. You're not it. You're not a man. A woman needs a soft place to land. Okay? There are men that can talk you out your drawers when they are a man. When they are a bitch, they're not going to be able to do that. And they go get mad that you are choosing other men over them. Because they are unwilling and unable to demonstrate what being a man is. They're unwilling to put in that work. They will put in that work to make some money for a check, for that almighty dollar, but they won't work on their personal development. What does processing your emotions, so that mean I can't scream and fly off the handle and take your damn life? I can't do that. I remember some man I used to be with, he always made an excuse, to act like a bitch. Yeah, y'all just think y'all the only ones that have feelings about stuff. You don't even, and I remember the same man, he would never express his feelings. He would go so far if he would have been like, baby, I love you, I'm afraid to lose you. And then you gotta act like it, nigga. You have to be vulnerable. You have to let your woman know how you really feel. Guess what he told me? I'm not gonna tell you how I really feel about you. Shout out to Bobby Womack. That's the way I feel about you. Bobby Womack would tell you how you feel. The men back in the day, how would they talk to you versus the motherfuckers now? Now it's, I want to fuck you, your mother, and your sister too, and I want you to be okay with it. Back in the day, it was, baby, you're all I need to get by. Okay? Shout out to Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Okay? The men would tell you. Shout out to the Temptations. Treat her like a lady. Okay? Opening doors. Okay? Willing to apologize first. Willing to hear you out. Willing to hold you accountable and tell you when you're wrong in a gentle way. Not, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You don't, what did Marcel tell Latifah? You don't have the right to have any feelings about this. That's not what the fuck I'm talking about. That's dictatorship. That's being a motherfucking narcissist that wants a motherfucker to bow down to them. She not a real doctor. Being a medical professional, she should know that personality and emotional expression are created by a combination of factors. What she said is being taken out of jest. She was saying something that, of course, it's so many layers to it. It was being said in a nuanced way, in a very simple way, but a hit dog will always holler. Okay? They learn to process emotions as a woman. She's talking about all that yelling, cussing, and screaming that your man is doing with you. Well, you trying to say he ain't got the right to have any feelings? What I'm saying is he needs to watch how he has those feelings. He needs to work on resolving issues. Because as women, what do we want to do? We want to resolve. While the toxic masculinity, the toxic non-masculine, feminine men, what they want? They want to fly off at the handle, argue with you, have the last word, talk you out your feelings, abuse you, use you. That's what they want to do. A real man walks away. He ain't putting his hands on no woman. That's where all that abuse is coming from. Because he got to control you. He's not trying to connect with you. He has to control you to connect with you. Because after all, and I told y'all, always be aware of men that have to tell you they a man. But I'm a man. I just can't help myself. On the Four Tops. Can't help myself. Okay? No, you can help yourself. You can hold yourself accountable and responsible. And whatever you don't do, nigga, it's going to be a problem because the woman always sees what you do. And guess what? As a woman, I'm going to treat one man a certain way that walks away when we have conflict and calms down when he's cooled off. Because a man don't love you if he up there name calling, you know, and saying all this stuff. Like, I had some man that called himself wanting to get with me. This is a big red flag. Number one, I'm not into you. Okay? Number two, you not gonna get with me flying off the fucking handle. You're not even my man. We're not even emotionally attached. We haven't even had sex. That's such a turn off. I don't want to be with your ass. Yeah, but you gotta bitch, shut the fuck up. You ain't no representation of what I want. But they have to create conflict. There are men that literally, women, y'all know what I'm talking about. They literally will create conflict with you when you are a peaceful woman. When you are quiet to yourself. You don't want no drama. What they gotta do? Create conflict. Create chaos. Create confusion. And wonder why you don't respect them. And when a man does that, that woman, she ain't gonna want to sleep with you. She want to sleep with a man that's willing. Babe, let's make up. He ain't gonna feel like, no, but I gotta keep punishing you, and that way your ass no. Nah. No. Stop acting like a hypocrite. I gotta punish you. I gotta put your ass in your place. I gotta have. That's why a lot of these men are unaliving women. That's that I have to have the last word shit, and I don't want you to say shit. So if I get rid of you, then bitch, you really can't say shit. That's where that sassiness comes from. And if you don't want to be called a bitch, stop acting like one. Shit, I'm on my Tupac. You wonder why they call you bitch. You wonder why they call you bitch. But as men, it's very important for y'all to walk away in arguments. Say, hey, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to take some time to cool off. Your woman should not always have to be the bigger person. Because what you're showing her is you're looking, and this is why a lot of y'all can't lead in relationships, because you don't know how to demonstrate being the bigger person, letting some shit go. When a man is triggered, when he overly reacts to every little fucking thing, it's not masculine. It's not giving, sweetie. Okay? Just because you got a dick and balls in your drawers, it don't make you a man. Women will always pay attention to how you treat them. So learn to walk away. Be the first to apologize. Only resolve conflict when you have calmed down. Will and Jada talked about this. Will talked about how he has to walk away from Jada because they can get, too hot and bothered, and, he can get too triggered. That's a man. And he doesn't want to beat up on the woman that he loves. A lot of y'all are beating up on people you love. You don't know how to love people. But you want somebody to love you. You treat people like you hate them. And it's because y'all don't know how to fucking love. You know how to be a fucking narcissistic terrorist. It's not hard. And you only know how to love people that have put you on a pedestal and put themselves in a pit. You want to be with a woman that has subjugated her wants, needs, feelings to bow down and acquiesce and be what you want her to be. That's not love. That's not love. Love is something that happens between equals for the purpose of spiritual growth. That means even if this doesn't work out, I still love you. No hard feelings. I'm not going to break into your fucking email. I'm not going to use your email. I'm not going to snake you out to your enemies. Tell them all your secrets. I'm not going to cheat and lie. I'm going to have a conversation with you and say, hey, this isn't working out. I think we need to take some time, or I think we just need to go our separate ways. Or, like I said, if you go stay with somebody and you know that you love them and you know you're willing to put up with whatever, get you somebody else. That way you're not just getting everything from this one fucking person. You know? But a lot of people will stay with somebody that they know ain't gonna do right by them and then want to complain and play the victim. We can't do that. But I liked Cheyenne and her messaging. I understood it. I wasn't offended. I'm a single mom. I didn't get all triggered and in my feelings because I understood the nuance of what she was talking about. It was bigger than single moms. She's just talking about being a single mom is a part of the setup, and you're parenting boys that see the woman in the home reacting and acting a certain way. They see the woman than they do a man. Even Tupac admitted in Resurrection, a man, a boy that's growing up, he's going to start, reacting to stuff the way his mother and his sister do, because that's who he's around. And you may say, well, the sister don't act, but y'all know what I'm talking about. He doesn't see himself in anybody in the household. We all need representation. We need it in the beauty industry. Okay? We need it in our communities. We all need people that we look up to, before I had confidence and love within myself, I was celebrating other people. I was looking at them like, wow, if they could do that, I could do this. And I had to see it through not white women, but women that are like me, black women. Men are no different. They need to see. But if you always see that the father abandoned the mother, the father is strung out on drugs, the father is always absent, and there's no male figure to guide this man into being, who he needs to be, he's gonna feel lost. He's gonna give up, throw in the towel, and act in a way that's going to sabotage him from getting the things he want and need in this world. He ain't gonna get the type of woman. See, a lot of y'all desire a certain woman, you'll never get her. You'll never get the real feminine woman, because you are a feminine woman. And I'm not being shady when I say that. You too sassy. You getting too mad over stuff. You too sneaky. You're not, and then as a man, you could be vulnerable. When you saying I can't cry, you can cry, but shit, motherfucker, you shouldn't be crying more than me. And then you need to be solution based. A lot of y'all are not like that. You like drama, gossip. I knew a man couldn't keep a roof over his head, but running around talking all the fucking time. Shut the fuck up. What do you have to talk about? If the rent ain't paid, if the lights ain't paid, if you ain't got no food in the house, what the fuck are you running around on the phone with everybody? That's feminine too. Get that shit together. Get that ghetto shit out of here. But yeah. Y'all gotta decide the type of men you want to be. Even if you don't even find your representation, look at actors. Look at a certain basketball player. Know that people are not perfect. They're flawed too. They got their issues they got to work out. Get yourself in therapy. That way you can have a real conversation about your flaws and your issues that you need to work through. And get really interested and curious about personal development and quit just trying to make money. That's what some of y'all know how to do the most. I'll just make the money. No, you need to work on yourself. It's your character that's going to help sustain you when them hard times hit. Well, as long as I got a certain amount of money in the bank. No, your motherfucking character is going to get you in rooms and keep you in rooms with people that you look up to and you admire. Your money can get you in. It ain't going to be able to keep you nowhere. Yeah, but if I make a certain amount, I can get this woman. You won't be able to keep her. She's going to go. And it depends on the type of woman it is. If she is a real masculine woman, she may stay with you to try to control you. If that's what her real intention is. But a woman, she want to be with a man's man. Not an abusive man, not a narcissistic man, but somebody that she feels comfortable being her true self with. Somebody that can apologize to her and say, babe, I was wrong. I was wrong. Humility, kindness. But we're in a world where a man wants you to be all those things and he's none of it. It don't work that way. You gotta give what you trying to get. You gotta give it. You gotta give it. A lot of y'all don't give it. And you don't get it. But yeah, you gotta act like a man. When you leave a relationship, close the door quietly. You don't need to stalk that person. A lot of y'all stalking people that you was cheating on. That you put their health at risk. But you're trying to flip it because you don't want to take accountability and responsibility for your bad behavior and decisions. And it's always somebody else's fault. You got your motherfucking finger pointed at everybody but you. You the common denominator. You keep having relationships, people leaving you, you the motherfucking problem. Well, no, she crazy. That's their favorite line. Watch out for that. She just so crazy. She just be acting all crazy. No, it's something that you are doing. You're not accountable for it. But these same snakes, they're hypocrites. They'll try to get you to be punished and accountable for some shit that they have never been accountable for. Yeah, I remember I had some man telling me, yeah, but you was wrong for what? Bitch, I don't need you to tell me what I'm wrong at doing. Whatever I do with somebody else, and this was between another woman, that's between me and her. This is an A and B conversation. You need to see your way out of it. You ain't nobody's guy. You a motherfucking hypocrite. Trying to get me, put me in check over what? My thoughts, feelings, and emotions? Yeah, but you was wrong. What about all the shit you're wrong about? You're wrong about a lot of shit. But once again, these motherfuckers are lazy. They like to point the finger. They don't want to work on the same characteristics that they are accusing you of not having. They lack it. They lack accountability. They lack remorse. They lack responsibility. They lack ethics, morals, values, decorum, and etc.